Welcome back, everybody, here to your coverage of the Dota 2 Champions League. I am your host for the English live stream, TobiWan, bringing you game number 2 in our best-of-5 matchup between Team Liquid as well as the Alliance to see who will be our team to advance through into the grand final and play for the largest prize pool, well, we have for such a short tournament. That's right, it's only a small group stage and then into the playoffs where you only had a grand total of 2 quarterfinal matches, 2 semi-final matches, and then 1 grand final. And that's what it's all coming down to. $50,000 was the prize pool for all those people out there tuning in through the Dota TV tickets. You've also contributed to the prize pool. And the amount I actually do not know. It's not set up like the MLG stuff where it says this is how much prize pool is being donated by the community. So, all right, we'll find out for you later, though, and I'm sure you can find all the details out over at d2cl.org, which is the English part of the website where you can follow all the details there. Let's get ourselves over into the game. I know that's what you guys came here to see, so we'll have Alliance over on the Radiant side for game number 2 here, and we'll have Team Liquid over on the Dire side. Rather unique bans coming out in the very, very early stages to see the Doombringer being banned out. Instantly, I thought, okay, it's Timbersaw. Hands down, Timbersaw, gotta be picked up. No doubt about it. And then there was doubt because Team Liquid, they first picked the Clockwork. So we go into something which makes Pyrium Flax basically shiver because it makes him feel so uncomfortable. The Clockwork first pick up here. That's going to be there for Bulba or Koitva. Either way, they can switch it around between the two. I always think of Bulba because Bulba for me, he's Clockwork. He's Clockwork through and through. But as for he's got his selection, I was having a quick chat to RK right now, and RK seems to be very he's very positive right now. He's very, very positive about everything. We were joking around a little bit in the break about a couple of different things, but definitely talking about the ability for S4 to play other heroes and trying to convince him to play something other than the Bat Rider and the fact that Pudge is the new Bat Rider and S4 should really take it under his wing as far as the best heroes to play. So I'm kind of hoping that we will be seeing something along those lines. Right now, Alliance, we're getting amazing control during laning from both Venomancer as well as Visage. If this was Fnatic, I'd say it's going to be Trixie taking up the role as the Venomancer, but it's not going to be in this case. It should just be EGM and RK taking up those first 2. And that means we get to keep the other 3 cores rather hidden. Now, normally, I remember I kind of was saying this a lot when I was down in Korea, and we're talking about the Koreans draft, and like they pick up a couple of heroes this early on. You're like, oh, there's just no stuns, there's no level of control. But one thing which we always noticed about Alliance, and something which Team Liquid allowed them to do in the last game too, is just find space for their supports to get a lot of levels. So by doing so, once level 6 comes up and you've got the familiars, you don't really feel the effect of not having the stuns anymore. And you can just find some cores which actually have the stuns. Like, it's not too hard, obviously. You still have to be rather cautious about who you select. It's got to fit the rest of your lineup. But once the familiars are up and running, you don't really care as much. You'll be fine. And for people in the chat, for this, I don't know who this cyborg ass is, but either way, he must be a fan of the ass of Cyborg.
5 seconds.
But yeah, man, the beard is coming off tonight. The beard's coming off tonight. It's bloody cold here in Germany right now, so it protects me from the wind. But it's getting to the point where it has to come off. So I'll be clean shaven for the EMS weekend. But at least for now, I can look like a man. I can look like a man. Yeah. Puck ban out by Way Too Sexy. So again, we'll be denying up S4's mid-solo heroes for this one. Well, also, we should note that the Nature's Prophets can be banned out. It's a side note. It's obvious that it will be banned out in most scenarios. Mirana again from S4, even without the Bane being on the field, he is going to be taking out that Mirana, which is kind of interesting considering, again, we are in that position where Lifestealer hasn't been touched. And Lifestealer is one of those heroes. Like, we had Puppy on the panel. I think it was on the Friday that he was telling us this, and he basically said that I had all these drafts that I wanted to do, but I couldn't do any of them because they gave me Lifestealer, and there's just no reason to pass up Lifestealer. So yeah, Lifestealer untouched. Bat Rider's going to be taken out right now, so it's a straight up ban against S4's mid solos. You can't ban against Loader, and banning up against Admiral Bulldog is just going to hurt yourself anyway, unless Clockwork is most definitely that off-laner. But from Team Liquid with the Clockwork and across the Maiden, it doesn't really feel like they're... Okay, S4 was... S4, I think, was toying with the same thing I was thinking about, which is it doesn't really feel like we know the lanes of Team Liquid yet. And the one option which was really standing out more than anything else was the ability to run Clockwork on the safe lane, so top lane for Team Liquid, and then grab something like an Enchantress, someone like an Enabler that lets you go into the enemy jungle. Like, contest Alliance on that lane. It's a dangerous thing to do up against both the Venomancer and a Visage, but with an army of creeps behind you, it should be a hell of a lot easier. But in this scenario, it won't be the case. Enchantress has been removed, Chen's been taken out too, and Alliance have no intention of staying inside the jungle. In fact, for Alliance's point of view, this almost looks like an aggressive tri-lane, and Juggernaut is a hero which I think Loader has lost. I can only remember 2 times in the last 2 months. I can remember. My stats man may correct me, but I can only, in my memory, remember 2 times that Loader has lost with the Juggernaut in the last 2 months. And Clinks will now be coming up from Team Liquid. Now, this is a ballsy pickup. And I really do call it ballsy, because it's very similar to the way you approach like that timing with the Weaver. If you don't find the space, then you're dead, basically. Like, you got to find the space to farm up and get your momentum, and then you got to try and find kills after that. But that means you must have an Orchid. And in this scenario, when you got such tanky heroes like Juggernaut and the Visage, now we had a Bounty Hunter to the mix as well, you're going to have a rough time finding Clinks that space, especially once these towers start to fall. You got a Juggernaut. This is one of the primary reasons why you don't see... Oh, I was almost right. Loader is 19 for 3 overall as a Juggernaut. But I said 2 months, so maybe that third loss was before the 2-month period. Yeah, but Clinks is not going to find a lot of that space. Like, initially, if this goes the way I think it's going to go,
5 seconds
which with the Clinks pickup, you want to try and run him as a core. This is going to throw Clockwork up against the Bounty on the bottom lane. This will put Clinks and Crystal Maiden +1 up against Juggernaut, Veno, Visage up on the top, and then we leave our mid-solos unknown at the moment. Abaddon's going to be the selection here from Liquid. Interesting choice. Mainly because I'm still looking at this lineup saying that Abaddon will try and break Crystal Maiden free, but you start with the Gal, you then give him the spear, and then you just follow up with the Grave Chill. No matter what happens here, whoever you shield, if there's 2 people that get hit by that Gale, you can't save him. Abaddon can save 1 person at a time, but Gale is an area of effect or a line effect that you can throw out. And now Weave will be the last man out here by S4. So he's actually thinking that that's going to be, Clinks in the mid. You could run Weaver in the mid. Bulb has done it before. It's a very liquidy thing to try and do, though, just because you're using these off-lane style heroes in a middle lane scenario, because Bulba was playing a lot of off-lane heroes, so their signature, he knows how to make them work.
5 seconds remaining.
But way too sexy now, got to have one last band to come out.
Alliance's turn to pick.
And there's Windrunner.
Team Liquid's
Admiral Bulldog's final... Wait, what? No, that's going to be S4's here in the middle lane then. And OD, the last pick up here from Team Liquid. All right. Bulba's going to take the OD, which means it's got to be an off-lane Clockwork, but it's... With EGM's Windrunner, that means that, Loader, Bulldog, S4's got to take the Venomancer for this middle lane. Wait, what? This is making less sense. This is making less sense very, very quickly. I said it before, that normally you can run an off-lane Venomancer, and that's one way to approach things, because you can run like a carry-style Venomancer, and you go higher levels up in the Gale as well as the Poison Sting. You don't need the levels up in the wards until you really feel like you're going to come under pressure. But Arcade's actually going to take... Wait, whoa. S4 Visage? S4 Visage? How long is that? No, they've got to be screwing with us. He has selected it. I want to see if they're going to switch. Yeah, they did. They're just screwing with us. They are purely screwing with us. It's going to be EGM who takes up the Visage, Admiral Bulldog's Bounty Hunter, Loader Juggernaut, RKS the Venomancer, and S4 Windrunner. S4 had to go the Windrunner. It was like the choice. The choice he had to make. There was no other real option for this one. It's going to be a rough time up against Bulba in the early stages, but this is also one of these things where I'm already talking about the aggressive tri-lane because I really want it and think it should happen. With the Bounty Hunter, you could run around inside Liquid's jungle and try and take a little bit of their farm, but you're not going to really have a lot of pooling and stacking coming out from Team Liquid here because you got a Crystal Maiden in the jungle. Like, you're not looking at a chain who's going to be taking a Wild Wing and then tornadoing down a camp, so you don't really have that much experience to take. You could be looking at an opportunity to try and pick off the Crystal Maiden. That's one other way you could do this and stop her clarities, but that'll be running interference. The other option is the fact you send your aggressive tri-lane top. Admiral Bulldog's heading north, Loader's heading down south. So I'm slightly disappointed with this. At the same time, it looks like we're going to see dual lanes again. So we leave EGM on the lane and Admiral Bulldog. His primary goal is to make sure that if Liquid ever go to this side of the line, they fear Admiral Bulldog. That's his primary goal right now. Looks like we are... Wait, what? Okay. So EGM decided not to do that. And maybe realizing, too, just the fact that OD is going to be an absolute nuisance at the earliest stage, they're going to try and run 2 heroes in the mid. Like, RK's coming up here with no wards, which is why I say 2 heroes in the mid. Admiral Bulldog, okay, now he's actually got the Observer ward, so... Admiral Bulldog just placed 1. Also, very interesting placement of this ward. This is the vision right now at the Radiant side we're looking at. So he can see up quite clearly into this area. So he's got an early warning system, secondary warning system in this box. So this is like, if it's Star Trek, that's yellow alert, that's red alert. And then he's able to watch this little camp as well. So we can see it and pull it from the side without always having just like to make sure he chops down the tree lines and stuff like that. So top rune contest, Fluff and Stuff versus Bulldog. And the rune's not even going to spawn here. But Fluff and Stuff, RK, he leveled up Gale. But that was just 2 right clicks into Abaddon. I'm interested to see if people do get easy res. I'm not surprised by the 76% going with Alliance. Team Liquid, like I mentioned it in very, very brief passing before we started this game. Gale's going to connect, but actually waited with a Frostbite. He can do some decent damage right now. S4 doesn't really have anything that can help him out. He just has to back up. He took a lot of damage throughout most of his mana as well because the Gale is just so damn expensive. And got nothing up against the Outworld Devourer. In fact, Outworld Devourer is still leading in CS up against this Windrunner. He's going to have a very rough time, S4. When this kind of stuff happens, like it turns from like looking at S4 to saying, well, okay, like you want to use your abilities to try and farm. He's feeling forced to use Power Shot to try and get some last hits in here. No Power Shot actually not helping him out at all. And the other problem is when you get imprisoned, it works in 2 different ways. Like, one, you can't attack to get last hits. So you're already having your CS removed from that. And the second is having your mana pool being controlled by having your intelligence removed and turned into the opposite hero. So you got more damage coming out from the OD because of these imprisonments. So his last hitting and ability denial is even better. RK, that Gal very much off target. I'm surprised he's really attempting this, especially considering on Eurus East in RK. He's a little bit too deep in here. One attack up the hill. Can't get it. Way too, actually very, very low. S4 with this wind run. He needs 1 more hit. There's your power shot. S4 actually managed to turn that one around. And Bulba doesn't have the burst damage here. Now he needs one more hit to kill off S4, but won't get it. And RK, even counting his lucky stars, he just found a regeneration rune. So S4 will have to pop off, well, he can't pop off anything. Is it a bottle coming out? It's a bottle coming out. So he'll use the entire bottle and send it back. Admiral Bulldog is waiting for the dire side courier to come out, but right now it's sitting back at base with nothing to give. Crystal Maiden is frostbiting up Hellbears at the same time, probably should have backed towards the middle lane.
Death cures all.
As our OD manages to get picked off. I kind of wanted to watch this little battle here because I knew this was going to happen at one point. Admiral Bulldog, not only did he snipe the last hit, he'll take half the experience away from Way Too Sexy. And this is when Crystal Maiden loses all momentum. Koifa, he's also be rather careful here. EGM is just, well, I say harassing him out of the lane is the only real thing you could say from that one. But Koifa's done a decent job down here. He's managed to find himself 3.5 levels. CS is still very, very negligible. But it's just the fact that Loader hasn't really got that much as well. He's now 12 for 3. I was really expecting a lot more from him, especially with the cover fire of EGM. Clockwork was always going to have himself a rough time because he needs to get in close onto the Visage. If he gets close in on the Visage, then he's all good to go. Then he's able to pop off his battery assault. He pops off the cogs. He may even be able to get himself a kill at this early stage of the game. Admiral Bulldog could be really careful. Oh, he just got attacked inside of Invis. Reveals up the fact he's out too far now, so he won't be attacked by that one. But Koiva can't get in close enough to be aggressive, so he's got to be massively defensive the entire time. Which is not something he really wants to do. Now S4 also managed to find himself a DD rune, so he took the 2-minute rune then. Must have been the regeneration rune we saw before from the very, very start. I honestly didn't actually check that. But either way, there's a DD rune inside of S4 as well, so it's the only logical conclusion we can have. Koitva. I think for a moment he thought he can get close into Loader. Problem is if he gets in close and Loader just starts doing the spin. But when that happens, he can't do it. The Plague Ward and the Gale, Clockwork, he realized it. He just got to TP himself back out again. He's Galed up so there's nowhere to run himself back out to safety again. He didn't know if there was like burst mana coming in. But the Venomancer rotation instantly had to know. He just had to bail out. Also, a tip for those guys who are tuning in, who are having some lag problems. I know Dailymotion actually have some really freaking, like, they guys got some really good infrastructure behind them, but there's also a switching problem. So if you are having some lag issues, I suggest you F5 the page. It actually really does help. It really, like, it's not just a, well, you should just F5 it. It actually helps you find a better server instead of just switching over. So, tips. Or for people inside of Dota TV, you have no issues whatsoever. RK, Bulba, right behind it. Lotus still taking a lot of damage here on the bottom lane as Koif for trying to initiate on him. He's only got 1 point rocket, but back in towards the middle lane. Bulba was already shackled up for a little bit. They need a little bit more damage. The shield's up, and they just use the soul assumption on Fluff and stuff. He saves Bulba's life and exposed his own soul. And Bulba's got to be careful remaining in this close. Just a quick movement from S4. But the fact he imprisons him too means S4 gets a little bit more mana when he does this bottle charge.
Radiant's top tower is under
Admiral Bulldog
attack.
now up to the top lane. Still nowhere near level 6. While Clockwork, he's like Quaver's getting a lot closer towards that level 6. And that's gonna be a key time for him. And now TC also key thing for him. Hand of Midas coming, and there's gonna be some really quick farming coming out from TC. But the fact he's able to use his Death Pact as well as use his Hand of Midas means just nuking down a creep wave is quite simple to do. Quaver again, another 135 gold being burnt as he TPs back out again. But TC is going to get a lot of farm and a lot of levels very quickly. There's 2 arrows he drops Bounty Hunter down because Bounty's only walking around with Phase Break. It's like there's no stout shield, there's no blocking this. Searing arrows are just so damn powerful. But at the same time, Clinks is one of these heroes where if he doesn't have his Death Pact, like you just saw how much life points he lost. 663 life points is quite easy to pick off. You get galled up and dusted up, and someone like a Juggernaut comes in and spins you, even that spin damage may almost be enough to kill you off. It lasts 5 seconds and does 120 damage. Yeah. You can do your math on that one and just say, well, with the hero resistance as well, it's not going to instantly kill him with one spin, but with the Gal damage as well, it will be enough. But it's only a level 1, so the Gal's not actually doing any damage right now. Admiral Bulldog, oh, he's inside the cogs. And he's waiting here too, because he knows if he walks out, he'll get burnt.
Radiant's top tower is
But he
under
wants to
attack.
initiate. With that Janata hit, it'll be enough of a slow. They can initiate, and now's your time. Shuritos will cancel the TP out from Koifa. Into the spin, he leads a shield as well as gives him some life fluff and stuff, but the cogs go again and Loader remains in close with him. So Clockwork's on the side. The Bounty Hunter gets a little bit more experience. Not level 6 just yet, so there's no track kills
Dire's
coming up
middle
from
tower
Alliance at
is
the
under
moment.
attack.
But they're 4-0 on this map. And while the experience is not really looking great their way, as well as gold, for what a 4-0 would normally, you'd think it would look like, it's just because that Hand of Mice as well as the space for TC is there. He's got so much money on this Clinks, but he's losing too many of his own
Dire's
teammates.
middle tower is under attack.
Like Admiral Bulldog was coming into Bulba just then he got hit by the Poison Sting. He's going to have to go Invis again. But Admiral Bulldog's basically out of mana. So he doesn't have his burst damage of the Shuritos. He's just got the Janata level 1 as well as the Invis to play with. He's trying to wait as long as possible for Bulba to come back in towards that middle lane, but Bulba's being insanely cautious. And I'm really hoping that Treads Bulba and not a... Okay, he's got Bottle as well as a Salve. But I'm really hoping that's not a hand of minus for him, because if that's a hand of minus, then I'd almost call it right now that Liquid have lost the game. The Clinks would have to make possibly the largest space in the world in order for that hand of Midas for an OD to work. Especially when Lotus now walking around with, well, what's going to be his own hand of Midas. So his late game potential is beyond that of, well, I won't say anybody. Venoman's getting caught off, so it looks like Quaitva. Yeah. Hook shot in and just destroys him with battery assault. So my bad for not looking at that one. But yeah, loaded with a hand of Midas. We know his timing is going to be a very mid-game focus. His abilities already let him fight in the mid portion of this game. Where the OD is one of these heroes where he needs to have his... he needs to have the mech. To put it down, he basically needs to have a mech. Or some kind of like life-giving or life-saving item for himself. Without that, he just can't stay in the lane. The bottle won't be enough for him. So he needs more than that. Top lane moving from Bulldog. Still not level 6 for him. So they can't kill off TC here. He'll just go invis again. And the support hero up the top here does not have any kind of dust or sentry, so it is impossible to kill the Clinks. But now Lotus got his hand of minus. In 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, done. You'll get the last hit, you'll move over, you'll pick up his hand of minus, come back. Don't miss a single creep. Like, there's your extra money. Not looking for the experience. This is all about money for this Juggernaut right now. Sure, of course, he wants to have the level 2 or level 3 ultimate of his. Like, who wouldn't? Top lane, already dead. Quaitva looks like he'll shot it in, but he's been very, very deep right now. And S4, well, he can't find himself a hook shot in for this one. Has to cop a power shot. And they're going to run up for TC. TC is tracked up, so Bounty does have his level 6. And Lotus is going to push out the bottom lane. Healing Ward's going to keep this creep wave alive just a little bit longer so he can do a little bit more damage, but I think Alliance will be very, very annoyed. They TP'd in so much support to try and go for that. Oh, Loda. He doesn't have 6 charges. He's short by 80 mana, or else he could have killed off Fluff and stuff, because Fluff doesn't have ulti yet. So it's quite possible that Loda would have been able to kill off the Abaddon. Top lane, new track on TC. He's used his Death Pact again, so he's got himself a decent amount of life points. Quaitva, I really should see one of his kills at one point. But Quaitva's getting harassed back. This is where the familiars come into play. They're doing minimal damage right now, but their scarier thing is the stun. It's not the damage, it's the stun at the start of the fights. And then the follow-up damage later on. There's the drop downs. They both stun up on Bulba. Quaitva comes in, and now Loda sees him. Loda, again, not enough mana for an ultimate. Now he does. He uses his 1 charges, and they hold him there long enough. The Wind Ranger picks off the Clinks in the meantime. But Bulba's on the run from those high damage dealing familiars. And that's where Clinks died, just up here. Behind the tier 1 tower. Looks like Arcade threw out Gale, only level 1. But it's a level 3 ward. It's very difficult to kill off. An Admiral Bulldog now quite revealed. Was about to attack on Bulba, but Bulba, second he sees that blade rise, just Astral imprisons him. Sentry Ward in the middle lane, basically saving his life right then. And load up, back to farming on the bottom lane. So Bracer, we'll see where this hand of Mice is going. It's, again, very mid-game orientated, focused on the items. With the Bracer in his inventory, there should be drums. Gets himself a clarity, realizing just how low he's burning. He needs that extra, like the mantle, which you can pick up from the side shop and then just bring in the drums recipe later on. But he needs the bigger mana pull. When he keeps getting imprisoned like this, it's not helping him out. The fact he's actually using the clarity while he was still imprisoned is what's helping him out. But he needs to make sure he's got enough mana that he can both spin as well as Omni Slash during the fight. EGM, he's in trouble. He needs to Grave Chill right now. Movement speed won't help him. Frostbite from way 2 is already too much. And Familiars, he got the drop down, the stuns from both of them, but unfortunately for RK, for EGM, it just wasn't possible. Oh, Admiral Bulldog. There's another Sentry Ward. Frostbite, and then Searing Arrows. Bulldog, track movement speed is going to allow him to escape from this one, but TC's really sticking with him. One more attack, Bulldog goes invis. Oh, he so needed that too. He'll be able to survive here, but he cannot stay anywhere near TC. One track is up here. TC's trying to bring down the tower. At the same time, a little bit further down, Koitfa. It's like he's managed to hook shot down, picks up the Venomancer. More TP support on the way here. Track Shuri tossing the power shot. Wonderful combination. Shaka will fly up, but it will not be able to latch Bulba to anything. But Fluff and Stuff had a shield for him anyway. Moving her into the top river. Now EGM gets killed off by Way Too Sexy. Used the Frostbite just to ensure the kill. It was already been hunted down by TC.
Radiant's top tower is under
So now we go 7-5. And after a very rough start where it was 4-0 going the way of Alliance, Liquid is starting to drag it back as far as the experience goes. It's still slightly negligible. Top tower is about to be killed off and in fact denied by RK. I think TC underestimated the power of his Searing Arrow. He needed to do a basic attack and then use the Searing Arrow on the second one. Because he brought that tower within the perfect deny range for a Venomancer. But, big bright side for Liquid. They have TC with a huge amount of momentum behind him. He might have one death to him, and as Nahaz, my stats man for the night, did point out, like, that kind of... Oh, Loader. He can't do it instantly, because the problem is if Bulba imprisons, then... Yeah, oh no, now he has. Now he can do it.
My death.
Track gold as well. Gale, ooh, it was just short. He got poison stinged up, though, so Fluff and Stuff did get slowed down a little bit. If that Gale connected, that was 2 kills right there. 100% 2 kills. That was good patience there from Loader. Realizing he had to wait. Also, looks like our patience isn't going to be what I thought it was going to be from Loader. He's got more patience. Trying to go into the Aghanim Scepter first. There's now 1,300 gold away from... Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong hero. Wrong hero, it's gold. He's 1,800 gold away. Well, 900 gold away from completing it. And then we're going to have more bounces. Already up at level 2 ultimate. If he completes it up in the next 74 seconds, then he'll be very, very happy with himself. Because then he'll have multiple jumps. Scepter jumps become 9, so you basically increase it by 3 jumps. But it's also having the cooldown at 70 seconds. Like a level 2 Omni Slash cooldown is 120 seconds, he has to wait for it. But having it just over every minute, you're able to use your Omni Slash. It means basically every single fight that you'll be taking, you will have your ulti up and running. And you won't always have to wait for the fights. They found one. EGM locked again inside the cogs. Soul Assumption damage over to Fluff and Stuff. The Gal will actually connect to Koitfa. These familiars don't have a drop down just yet. They've still got a little bit of extra bonus damage. They're just trying to stay in front. So 1 drop, 2 drop, but no one's following after this. So it's just more of a, just make sure you back off Clockwork. The birds be stalking. How's TC looking for his next item? Still running that Hand of Midas. Treads up and running. Not seeing him with his next damage dealing item, which should be a Crystallis for the Clinks. He needs to make sure he damages hard and fast. And it's going to be straight physical damage. Might almost be worthwhile, depending on how many kills he's capable of getting, TC. It might almost be worth going straight into a Monkey King bar. Because it's highly possible that Juggernaut could be looking at some kind of evasion. Even if it's not a full butterfly for him in the later portion of the game, he'd have that. But he could be looking at a Heaven's Halberd in the early stages. And then you got Windrunner. Like, Windrunner's a perfect escape mechanism. There's your Aghanim Scepter now for Juggernaut. And he's got ulti up too. TP the bottom lane. He doesn't have one. He needs this farm up on top lane to go pick up a TP scroll. Because right now, S4 is being dived. The Rockets scouted him out. Nice shackle. Wind runs away and Koitfa just has to stand there. That one little creep that came in for the bottom tier 1 tower is toast. Nothing's going to save it. Now Juggernaut does have a TP scroll, so he can come and join the fights. While Bulba was pushing out the mid lane, 4 stuff coming his way, and Bulba... I'm still never really insanely happy with seeing this Hand of Midas. Because I got a feeling during the next fight he's just going to die. But he did manage to build up majority of a 4 stuff. There goes your ulti. That's some serious hatred onto the Crystal Maiden. A little bit further up, Koitfa jumped in on both EGM as well as Admiral Bulldog. He got a lot more than what he bargained for. Admiral Bulldog, though, does not have enough mana to throw off that Shuri toss, especially with it being on cooldown again. But with the help, with the soul assumption from EGM, it now becomes a 2-for-0 trade-off here in favor of Alliance. And TC again is on this hunt. It's going to hand a minus to use as well. Won't be a fan of having that on cooldown, but if you can pick off Loader, then he won't really care. And Loader now also already using his spin. There's hand a minus from TC. He wants to force this bottom tier 2 tower. That's going to be the only thing he'll be doing down here. Like, he's moving around inside the Radiant jungle, and it's restricting the farm. But right now, Alliance, their farm is going to come from track gold. From moving around, finding these kills. Like, you got to obviously be very, very careful with S4 as well as Juggernaut, because they're both 3-for-0, so they're worth a lot of money if they die right now. Liquid will be happy to put that into the OD's inventory. And now, where's the courier? Back to base, full 4-staff, and Blink Dagger clinks. So TC going the proper aggressive kind of style. So you fight directly on top of the hero, and then you blink to follow them. S4, he's got a 4-staff right now, and now he's got to use it straight away. Blink, though, follows him deeper. But TC now, he's underneath the tower range, and that TP coming in, it's Admiral Bulldog. He gets a quick track up, but there's no follow-up. With that shield from Fluff and stuff, he's able to break off the track as well. So there's no vision now over on the Clinks. So Clink's able to move quite freely around this map. But this isn't as many kills as I was expecting from him. Nowhere near it, in fact. Like, OD as a 4-staff, that's looking okay for him. He still needs more than that. Clinks doesn't have physical DPS. He's got the ability to get a couple of pickoffs here and there, but it's still 10-7 in favor of Alliance. And this Orchid's been up for a good 5 minutes. The other part of it could be Liquid just pushing out the towers. Now, this bottom tier 2 tower has been under siege for a while, but it hasn't taken enough damage. This mid tier 1 tower can get sniped off by the Clink the second he wants to rotate. Well, top lane, Alliance going to try and force that one out. Finally, this tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. Yeah, there you go. Fortification has to be used just to waste the time of the strafe. Familiars, resummon. Alliance is going to try and take the tier 1 tower on the top now. TC just keeps pounding away at this bottom tower. TP's coming in, that's Loader. And then blink away by TC. Easy, easy movements. Familiars are finishing the tier 1 tower up on the top lane because no one came to defend it, while in the middle lane, there's a pincer movement coming out from Alliance. They got 2 coming down from the dire side jungle, both RK as well as S4 and EGM, Grave Chill. They're focusing on way too sexy. Imprisonment went off on the Juggernaut, so he doesn't have ulti available right now. Clockwork can jump in. Sorry, it went on Admiral Bulldog, got imprisoned up, and OD drops the ulti. Picks up the Visage. A little bit further up though. Now OD on the sideline. RK got a really good ulti over on 3 heroes, but they need a follow-up, and that's what Loader's here for. Shackle, unable to latch, even with S4's 4-staff up. They got more than enough damage to pick off Fluff and stuff. Went through his ultimate. So 2 heroes go down for Liquid. 2 supports from either side, with the Visage also on the sidelines, EGM. But bringing down Bulba as well. 2-3 in this next item of his is going to take a very, even longer now. Top lane's being pushed out by TC. But even if he takes this tier 2 tower on the top lane, it's not worth the trade. And there's a 4-staff. Straight into the ultimate, away from any kind of creep wave, any kind of opponents. And now there's 3 heroes on the sideline. TP's come back up towards the top lane, try and protect the tier 2 tower. S4, Shackle, oh, he got it. He got it on TC. Now the Grave Chill as well. And TC, the dust will pop off. He can't blink himself away in this, but his movement speed is very, very high. Admiral Bulldog and RK are going to rotate up to see if they can catch him off. There's 1 sentry ward which they can use. If they can catch him at that point, then they've got him. He moved up into it. And now RK, he looks like a perfect trap. There's your Gale. Track as well. Gonna try and TP out. Shuri toss, throw it out, cancel the TP, and TC's dead. 335 gold gone, but more importantly, 15.5 levels worth of experience. That's how much Clinks has, which means the experience gain for those 2 heroes, for RK, as well as Admiral Bulldog, is even higher. Not to mention that's a level 2 track. These problems coming up from Liquid, and you see just the impact they have on the overall graphs. Loader, oh wow, Fluff and stuff. Loader's just going to spin and TP. He's got ulti off cooldown, so he had the possibility of just trying to turn and fight that one, but he also knows the problem that if he lets off the ulti, and then LOA's ulti also triggers, he'll just send him straight back up to full life, and then he won't have enough damage to finish the job. Not until he gets his next item. And Yasha, ultimate orb, like that's pretty damn good. Almost finished up the Manta style for him. With a double-handed Midas from Liquid. It's still keeping Clinks very firmly in this game. Maybe have to stop for a moment as Wade 2 tries to TP out, and Prism will allow him the cover fire to do so. 4 staff down by Bulba, Fluff and stuff. Oh, I don't know if you're going to be able to survive this one, man. They're going to trigger his ulti. Soul Assumption damage will actually help with that. And Loda, for some reason, giving his life points back over to Fluff and stuff. Shield, but that's it. Won't be able to deny himself off. And LOA is down, and Juggernaut grabbed himself another kill. That's now a 6-for-0 Juggernaut in the field. Can run Hand of Midas again, using the Courier to bring out his Manta style. And there's a tier 2 tower in the bottom lane with Alliance's name written all over it. While Liquid, like, Koifa hasn't really managed to do anything with... Like, you get a couple of good pickoffs, but most of them were on the support heroes.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And all that money hasn't really equated into much more after 5 deaths. There's your instant... Like, this is what Clinks does. He just nukes everything down. And he's building into a BKB right now, too. So he's trying to have something which allows him to stand during the fight. The problem is, though, that he's still going to get hit by Juggernaut. And Juggernaut's physical damage is more than enough to cause a lot of issues for him. And when that Orchid goes now, Manta Star will break it. So you will always have these abilities from the Juggernaut during the team fights. And with a full mech on the way for Visage, he's still a little bit away from it. Has a full mech recipe. But needs to have the last recipe for the buckler. And then he does have the full mech. I think with an extra branch as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he needs one more branch, which he doesn't have in his inventory. Oh. Admiral Bulldog, dead in middle lane. Tries to run himself away. Oh, maybe he can. He does. Lol. Drum charge phase boots. Enjoy the movement speed. He's still got himself 7 charges as well, but he's TV'd himself back to base, so doesn't need to use the charges. But that's a blink dagger in Clinks. Like, the guy who is the most farmed up on Liquid, unable to kill off what is basically classed as your offlaner. It's Admiral Bulldog. It's the bounty hunter. And he could not beat him. And now Alliance come in for Roshan. They use the illusion to tank up the first couple of hits. And Loda drops the healing ward. Familiars do still have their stuns, and they're going to need them. Koifa, I think he realizes what's going on. He's got a haste rune available as well. RK, oh, look at this. He's body blocked it up. So Liquid actually cannot get through this gap. The rocket's flying in, so they know that Roshan's happening. And Wade 2 is coming in too, but Koifa, the only way in is to hookshot. And he knows it too, but now he's tracked up, so see him perfectly. Loda's backing himself up. They've already picked up the Crystal Maiden. And now, well, the spin goes out first from Loda. He's going to throw the ulti out as well. Odie throws his out. Visage down, TC. So low on life, the power shot, and there's your Juggernaut ulti. Bouncing through the secondary core. Tracks up. Familiar damage as well. Look at Koifa move quickly with the haste rune, but it's about to wear off. But then again, so does the slow. And Fluff and stuff trying to fight this one up against Familiars, who don't have a drop down. S4. The urn. He's got 1 charges. He's got 4 of them. He'll survive. Oh, no! Oh, that's just cruel. Rocket comes down and picks up S4, which means the gem is on the deck. Admiral Bulldog will have to pick that one up. While Loda takes the Aegis to the Immortal. But 19-11 on the board, 26 minutes in. There's still very little separating these teams as far as gold and experience. The gold's starting to rack up a lot more because Alliance has taken 2 extra towers. Where Liquid have not claimed those just yet. And this bottom tower is almost there at being claimed, but Loda comes back to push it out again. And he's got 3,500 gold now. So that butterfly I was talking about before, quite possible. Side device is still on the way for the OD, but he's still sitting about 1,400 gold away from having that. RK sending one of the gems back. They only need the one. I'm guessing they actually stole one of these. Yeah, one belongs to Way Too Sexy, the other one actually belongs to RK. So Liquid's invis detection has gone out the window. BKB up in 140 gold for the Clinks. It's going to make him a lot more powerful during the next team fight. The only issue I still have is how much damage is Juggernaut going to dish out. Because what's he going next? He can look at so many different things to build into. I'm still feeling the butterfly for him. I'm still feeling the butterfly. In fact, that's exactly what it is. The Eagle Song's flying down, and this time he won't change his build. Last time Loda changed it. He was going the butterfly, and I think someone screamed at him and said, you know, you should be going to heart instead. But with this extra evasion, Klinx's power really starts to dissipate, especially considering he went for like a follow-up initiating item, which is the Blink Dagger to start with, and now he's going for a safety item during team fights, which is the BKB. The fear of a Klinx is actually quite low. Like, we'll use this Death Pact right now, and we'll see his bonus. So 132 plus 54. That bonus damage isn't too bad, but it's not something which a Juggernaut with 1800 life points and soon to have evasion is really going to care about. Admiral Bulldog's now down in the bottom lane. Gem in hand, he's just wanting to know if the Klinx are going to be there. Koiva's going to be the man on this bottom lane. So may just track him and then move back. The power shot's a little bit too short. The top lane's just trying to be pushed out. So Admiral Bulldog, his invis is about to wear off.
Dire's top tower is
But he's going to try and stop Koiva from TPing out. If they can keep the Clockwork away from that top... Oh, actually, can Admiral Bulldog even pick him off? If he had an Orb of Venom... Oh, he actually locked himself in the cogs! Koiva! The burn will be taken by Admiral Bulldog. But while that track is there, the power shot... Oh, because he waited just a little bit longer, the power shot damage wasn't there. He still got 4 points up in Shuri Toss, but he needs to get that Janata hit. Mini Shackle, that'll do the job. Koiva's going to die here on the bottom lane. Just keels over. And now Gale up on the top. Bulba walks straight in at 3 loaders. He goes godlike. The Soul Assumption damage really made that a lot easier as well. And now Fluff and stuff being chased down. He does still have ulti available, so there's no point for Loda to throw out his. But this will now be a top tier 2 tower taking a fall. No initiation from the Clockwork,
Dire's
no
top
control
tower
from the
is
OD.
under attack.
And no survivability from the Klinx, even with the BKB. He'll give this a shot, but Loda, he actually used his... Oh, because he used the Mana Style before, he's got the Aegis the Immortal. He's happy for this to trigger. Gale will go on way too sexy. And because now Liquid have initiated in, they lose another support. The Aegis the Immortal goes. It's not really that
Dire's
bad of a
top
thing,
tower is under attack.
because you just took another hero out, and you take a tier 2
Dire's
tower.
top
All
tower
added towers
is
are now
down.
removed for Team Liquid. Admiral Bulldog TPs in towards the middle lane. He's going to try and come up towards this top. Loda again, rather prematurely triggering off this Mana Style all the time. Surprised he's not saving it, especially with TC in the neighborhood. But with 4 stars from his teammates, they can't get him away to safety. And now TC, quite visible. Like, he's getting shielded up though. And Clockwork jumps him. He goes on EGM. There's that Orchid again over on Loda. He doesn't have the option just to break it and go. The Shackle won't manage to latch. So they will lose the Visage while they take the tier 3 tower. I'm just really surprised they try to use them. Like, I can understand the pushing power that comes out from a Mana
Radiant's
Style.
bottom tower is
I'll ask
under
Loda
attack.
about his decision making later on.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Obviously, Loda normally has a thought behind most of things. And that time I got a feeling his thought was just, I need this tower pushed out.
Radiant's
RK
bottom
again with
tower
another
has
denial. I
been
think it's now, what, the 3rd tower that's been denied up by Alliance? Admiral Bulldog's in the hunt again. Observer Ward's watching everybody so closely. And check these items. There's your Crystallis start from the Klinx. With the Blink Dagger, the BKB, he's actually going to have to drop his Hand of Midas if he wants to pick up the Crystallis here. Because losing the TPE scroll is something he just cannot afford to do. If he gets caught out of position and can't bring in his damage as well as silence, then this game is basically gone. Because Liquid just don't have... Like, they've got Bulba with the Scythe of Vice now, so that's obviously kind of great. Especially at the same time as Juggernaut finishes up that butterfly of his. But once Loda breaks free of the Hex, there is no true hits coming the way. So they're going to lose a lot of life points if they're not careful. And they just keep giving space to Loda. He's got 20,000 net worth right now in comparison to the Klinx, who's 16,000. 13, almost 14k coming in for the OD. And then you start to hit the Windrunner and the Bounty Hunter. Windrunner, who has 4 stuff as well as Orchid, sees the Invis Rune. So Bottle Charge, grabs it. 3,700 gold, so we assume Scythe of Vice to come up from S4 as well. Could be looking at something else. I don't know if they're really thinking they need a little bit more physical DPS right now, but having that extra intelligence level as well as having a disable, it's going to really help him up against the OD. OD ulti will be a lot less effective on him. which is a critical thing for S4. The other option is he goes for a Lincoln Sphere. In fact, what do we got? In fact, no, he said screw it. Survivability in one way, it's with the armor. There's your Hex, and now you're seeing that damage output. When you don't have the intelligence level, that's why you want to get... Oh, wait, we have to wait. RK as well as EGM coming in. TP out by way too sexy. Bulb up, he'll be fine. I think Loda was considering using his ultimate. I don't think he was actually considering, I think he was going to. Just range of ultimate is this. It's very, very small for a Juggernaut. Yeah, but with that Shiva's Guard that's coming out from the Wind Ranger, like that's gonna be a lot better for him because with the Shiva's Guard, at least he has the armor. He brings something towards the team fight as well as the push, but he also increases his intelligence level. Mystic Staff, a component of both the side device as well as the Shiva's Guard. Problem is with that death now, he lost a decent amount of money, so he can't afford it just yet. He needs to respawn back up again and then farm up another 700 gold. So work to be done. A lot of work to be done. While Loda just keeps farming up his stuff. This should be Assault Cuirassi's ball coming out from him. If this really is just a push focus kind of lineup and wanting to win these engagements. Oh wait, what? He buys up BTs instead? Puts the Shiva's Guard on a little bit more of a delay. So checking out Roshan.
Invisibility.
Reaver's there for Juggernaut. So I suppose in one way it's survivability. I thought they would be looking to stack up the armors. So like you got Shivas as well as AC. But in this scenario, no AC for Loda. We'll be just looking at hard again. Admiral Bulldog's pushing out the top lane. I suppose if he gets enough farm at the end of the day, he can also go into the AC. But right now he's walking around with the Yasha. So also looking at another mana style. It's just to break the Orchid effects. That's the primary thing right now. They want to make sure they're able to get their abilities off. But that damage coming out from Loda. About 500s on the crits. The Cogs already defensively trying to hold him out. TC. Death Pacting down one of the Radiant Creeps. He's one-hitting down most stuff right now. Shackle will fly, only a mini-stun. The Mana Style Illusion attacking on the range racks, and they know that's the one to bring down. With no regeneration for the range racks, it's the first step. And the Plague Wars can just focus it down as well. More tracks coming up over on Koifer, and Fluffer starts working the shield overtime. Mini Shackles, power shots coming from S4. And now another one over on TC. So while these tracks just keep flying out from Admiral Bulldog, he's going to be really happy that track doesn't cost as much mana as it used to. But they've got the vision. They know they won't jump in. Mini Shackles again, holding Bulber out. Now Loda spinning in front of the tower. He can still attack the buildings directly, even inside the spin. But the range racks is now gone. This is the slow whittling away. The bottom lane as well as the middle lane isn't pushing in enough from Team Liquid to make Elias fearful about this. And again, they set up the wards on the high ground. Loda, he's got his Aghanim's ulti, remember. And now Clockwork latching in. It's time to fight. RK, he gets the ulti off in the last points of his death, but Loda just jumps around inside of his own ultimate, now spinning him up, right on top of Fluff and stuff. There is Crystal Maiden waiting, gets almost his full duration ulti off. But 3 heroes actually lost because of that. But while Loda and Admiral Bulldog are still alive, there is just no answer to this one. Bulba comes back in towards the fight. The million racks won't go down just yet. And Loda orchid it up. He doesn't have mana style, but he's got the Reaver, so he's got a lot of life points to survive.
Barracks are under attack.
No regeneration though, because he hasn't completed up the full heart just yet, which he can do so. If that courier makes a move right now, it can finish up the full heart. I think also Bulldog, there was a gem that was dropped on the deck during that. And it looks like Abaddon was able to pick it up at the end of the day. That really wasn't a great fight for Alliance. Like, they lost 3 core heroes just then, one of them being S4. So again he dies, and again that Shiva's Guard gets delayed. But the fact that Loda didn't die, that's the key thing. He's 11 for 0. That's about, if I remember my wait, what, Satanic? LOL! That's one way to get your life back again. Roshan contest time. He's already dead. If they can lock him in the corner right now, the illusions are on the way in. Juggernaut, he doesn't have mana for his ulti. So I'm not quite sure about the Satanic build coming out from him. There's a lot of lifesteal coming out from Loda. But at the same time, I believe, isn't there a Vladimir's offering? After the lineup, there was one over on, yeah, there's one over on the Bounty Hunter. So he's already lifestealing. It just means he's got more, like, it's not much. Actually, no, there isn't. No, it's just 35 seconds cooldown. It's kind of felt a lot like he didn't have enough mana pool to do anything. With 350 mana for one to the next. And then what's he meant to be doing? Mechanics, as you guys know, is not one of my strong points, so I don't know if he can actually, while he's spinning, also be life leeching. Technically, because he's attacking, I would assume it's the case. But I wait for someone to in the chat just to do that. But if he's spinning, can he satanic and steal life? My question. See if the chat can answer it. If not, Nahas is always on duty. So Lotus now going to push up through the bottom lane. Hero built the other one Juggernaut, but what? In a loss? Okay. So no one's actually won with a Satanic on a Juggernaut before. I'd be interested to know the scenario that he was in for that game. What he was up against. Another head of Virtus, a fluff and stuff. With two of these little suckers going as well, Koitva, as well as fluff and stuff together. Well, at least you know you never have a Chen army. And how's S4 looking for his items? He still hasn't got that Shiva's Guard yet. But he's 1,000 gold away from doing so. While RK's managed to finish up a Veil of Discord. So Veil into ultimate of his as well as Gale. And that really opens up as well for EGM to get it like a straight up Soul Assumption. Yeah, and the chat's right. The chat's right. Because Juggernaut can use the Satanic while spinning, but he only can damage buildings while spinning, so he can't attack the heroes directly. So there is no point to using the Satanic during a spin. To answer the question.
Illusion.
Yeah, you can't do any physical DPS to a hero, but you can do it to a building. That's the difference with the spin. That's why before when Loda was in here attacking on the range racks, like he was spinning in this little region here, but being that close to the racks meant he kept attacking it. So I was able to bring it down while being magic immune. I'm now sitting at 3.5k gold. I'm really hoping for some kind of big damage dealing item to come up from him next. Like right now he's dishing out a decent amount of damage. But it's not as much as you'd really expect. Now the Monkey King bar has finally been finished up on TC. So he did drop his Hand of Midas. So we've still got 2 Hand of Midas instead of the 3 over on Team Liquid because Clinks did sell his. With that Monkey King bar, now we'll know Juggernaut realizes the problem of now direct hits can come off from the Clinks. So Clinks will be the primary target. They might look towards the Owl Devourer as well. Mr. Ghost Scepter inside the Vice and BKB is going to make him very difficult to kill off. But without levels in, like, without the extra imprisonments coming out from Bulba before the fights begin, he doesn't have the buff up, ready to start the fight. Not with a huge amount, at least. EGM just picked himself up a Talisman of Evasion as well. So direct attacks towards him, it's going to be difficult for the Clinks because there's, again, another Ghost Scepter from him as well. So he's got basic evasion as well as having a Ghost Scepter. So he can survive through Clinks' strafe at least. This really just is a wait and see kind of play here from Alliance. There's no pressure for them to push him. They still control most of the map. They control most of the gold as well as experience too. Nothing which can't be overcome. But yeah, Loda's just farming so crazily fast.
Invisibility.
But there's movement coming out from Liquid. They've had enough of this. Even though Bulba, I don't know if it's attack moving just then, because he just revealed the fact there was smoke. Where's this gem? Where is this gem? There's no one that's got it on the front lines. Who's holding the gem right now? It's RK. So Venomance needs to be close enough to see him coming in. But TC is most definitely on the hunt. But while EGM is inside that Invis rune, they also need to have their gem on the front lines. The other stuff is just a little bit too far back. Smoke will wear off. And Lions got the choice right now. They can fight, or they can wait it out. The Aegis gets reclaimed in 30 seconds time. So that's probably the reason why Bubble was looking to fight. It's probably also the reason why S4 is now up on this top lane. Just pushing out. No, we get our answer right now for the Juggernaut. We'll have Basher to start with, and it'll be Abyssal Blade to come up. So he'll pick... It's this nice item to have too, because it means when they're pushing out, he can just buy the Sacred Relic from this little guy. And a little shopkeeper. Alright, Aegis is now gone for the OD. S4, Mr. Shiva's guard, slows down TC. 4-star and win right to see him. So Clockwork can hookshot himself in. And TC will blink himself in. There's a quick shackle coming up from S4. He doesn't have wind run, but at least makes him work for his kill. 371 gold. Only. Because I'm still seeing Loda walking around with 11 for 0. I still know how much money he's worth. That would finish up Clinks' Daedalus. If you could get that kill. But Roshan's got a potential time of spawning up. Just over a minute now. How's Admiral Bulldog looking? He's got a basher of his own. They really are just looking at these Abyssals now. Okay, with Ghost Scepter, Veil of Discord. So what do we got now? With all this right-click damage coming out and with the desire to evade either the Juggernaut ultimate or to evade the Searing Arrows strafe of the Clinks.
Twice the cutting power.
We have ourselves 4 Ghost Scepters on the field to deal with that. So let these supports survive just a little bit longer. Juggernaut now buys BTs. Still with buyback. That means he can buy back and just BT straight back into the fight. And the call's already been made. Just to push in through the bottom lane. It's a rather large arrow being written up by Admiral Bulldog as well. Yeah, and there's the BT's already been used by S4. So they bring everybody to this bottom lane. Familiar TP, that's the Juggernaut. And they just assemble the army. And is he there in time? Oh, there's no TP. LOA won't be here in time. This is the tier 3 tower lost. Without the LOA shields, these other heroes should be a lot more defensive. Fluff waiting outside. New set of familiars now coming up. They really just want to try and force this out again. Remember, the top lane's got momentum because it's got the buffed up range creeps. But at the same time, that's not the be-all, end-all of this push. You need melee creeps to really get the momentum. Shackle Flyers doesn't latch on Bulba. Track, however, over on TC. This could be broken right now, but Fluff puts the shield in himself. Which means now there's 2 targets tracked up. And this also now means that the Lions have never-ending vision. They have a fallback position. The Wall of Wars, they can even make it into this little corner on the side, which means there's only basically one way up and down, making a choke point of their own. And by doing so too, Liquid are having to hide inside the base, and Loda's just doing Roshan solo. They got a couple of familiars, now you'll have some help. Just keep looking for those bashes. Even if Loda gets the last hit, actually he can't take the Aegis. S4's probably going to have to pick it up. Yeah, he takes the Aegis and EGM will take the cheese. And that's the best choice right now. Loda's already pretty tanky as it is, and the fact he's got the Satanic means he should be able to survive pretty damn long. They just need to have that bash that lock somebody down so he's got time to attack him once he does pop the Satanic. But the healing ward coming down, they just force the high ground. Fluff and Stuff's already here. Shields himself up again. So remember, these tracks will just keep coming. S4, piggling it up, the mech charge, and now the Aegis Immortal will already trigger. Clockwork to initiate into this one, and Admiral Bulldog, his own BKB's pop. TC pops his as well. S4 needs to force-start himself to the other side of these cogs. He'll get burned on the way back out again. They'll be able to survive while back inside the base. Liquid, they are really making a very hard-to-break line. Oh, the ulti will drop down from OD. But Fluff has already managed to nuke down the Venoman, so the OD ulti did very, very little, and Loda trying to fight here. Good shackle on way to as well as Fluff. Loda, spin, TP out, he's got enough life points. No, he doesn't! 1,416 gold. Liquid hold the line, but not only do they hold the line, they get through an Aegis to the Immortal. The cheese has been given over towards S4, and S4 will TP himself out here. TC will find him, but too late. And EGM needs more movement speed to escape from this, and he knows it. Familiar drop. TC. Familiars need to move over to the side. There's already Clockwork hooking in. TC gave him all the vision he needed. And Liquid are looking like they're on the way for a comeback. You see just how much that fight cost Alliance. This is the reason why they were doing it slow and pushing. They thought with the Aegis and Cheese they'd be able to deal with it, but S4 really got himself caught out. The Shackle was almost able to make enough space for Loader to TP himself back out to safety, but it just wasn't enough time. His OD wasn't affected, so he just kept throwing out his basic attacks. May not seem like much, but now with the second Mystic Staff, this should be his own Shiva's Guard. And Arcade's already preparing a defense. We still have unspent money on that Juggernaut. We had Abyssal Blades. When these Abyssal Blades get completed, on both Bounty as well as the Juggernaut, these fights turn completely again. Which means we need to see that next level item then coming up. Clinks, he's got enough to buy the full Daedalus. I think he's got a problem though with his, well, with his courier. No, his courier's alive. It's a little Easter bunny going back to base right now. The Bulba's definitely looking for murder. He's going to find one at S4. Already the Hex, Orchid, which means they amplify the damage up. And it's basically 2 attacks from TC, 3 attacks from Bulba. And that Windrunner is absolutely toast. Can't use Cheese when you're a Piglet. When you're hexed. And maybe Liquid are thinking about trying to force into the base. This top lane is really pushing out there. They'll lose their melee racks if they don't send somebody back to defend this. And with Venomancer wards up on this bottom lane, they are able to easily defend this as well. But this top lane momentum, it's having the mega siege creeps as well as the mega range creeps. When these guys hit the base, they destroy buildings so quickly. This is their power. The meat shields, these melee creeps, they're the ones that are supposed to survive a hell of a lot longer. Because that's what gives your lane momentum, having a large amount of melee creeps. That's why everyone goes for the melee racks first. But Liquid are going to try and force this out. They've got AC now in there on the clockwork, even though we didn't build into the Aghanim Scepter, so there's no quick jump-ins all the time. He's got a point boost, so he's got a lot of life points behind him. These birds of EGM just need to make sure they keep the distance. So there goes the tier 2 tower. Top lane is still pushing in. Keep your eye on this. Yeah, Liquid's falling back. They may even just TP somebody out here to deal with this. The Bulba won't be able to run there in time. Wait, where's the TPs? Where's the TPs? There's no TPs. They'll get there in time. I'm not seeing a single TP in the lineup of Team Liquid.
Dire's top
well, it's a good thing they're not going up against Split Push with like 2 heroes with BTs on themselves. Alliance has that. This is a really dangerous thing to do. They put all their money into other items, allow them to fight.
And it's off.
But there's still some extra slots. Like there's 2 heroes, they have extra slots. Way 2 as well as Clockwork. Alliance coming in. They may just try and backdoor this melee. It could be the plan. They're already smoked up. There's no sentry wars. The power shots having a bit of a scout. They should have been spotted by Team Liquid. But there's not enough damage to instantly just backdoor. Like, they can't backdoor this. Not at 5v5. It's almost like they're trying to force Liquid to come out and try and fight them. It's a most unusual move. Their sentry ward's already down here at the back. So they're trying to, that wall is just trying to keep tabs on what on Liquid when they come out. But that means Liquid has to come out. So again, we end up into this siege kind of scenario. If that top race goes down, the Liquid are in even more trouble. If they just want a team fight, that's great. Oh, what a shackle from S4. 4 staffs in, 4 staffs up, pigleted up in again. But that's now the Hex on cooldown for 30 seconds. Which means going high ground from Alliance is a great time. With the Hex on cooldown, it is the perfect time. Clockwork's going to latch himself in. Juggernaut, I think it's ulti time now, Loader, and he's going to bounce himself around inside this fight. Bounty Hunter's already dealt on the sidelines, and TC, now finding Loader, gets himself out of this. The Ghost Scepter really didn't make life too fun for him. Spins up, trying to get closer towards way too sexy. The Healing Wall is still keeping him alive, and Loader, in fact, is going to TP out of this one. Windrunner ball back to be part of this, but it's already too late. She BT'd in, 4 staffs away. Clockwork does not have himself another latch. Remember, no Aghanim Scepter for him. And the melee ranks took no damage whatsoever. And that was with a buyback from the Windrunner and Alliance throwing their bodies at the hill. There's still only 1 death for the Juggernaut, but damn, he needs that Abyssal Blade. It's almost like they needed a Fusel Blade too. They got to get rid of these damn Ghost Scepters. But Liquid definitely needs to make high ground on Alliance's base. They may not have enough time. I say may not. They just need to stop having that thorn their side, which is the top racks. And they're back inside now, but Liquid's not going high ground. They didn't have enough time. The potential of having Bounty Hunter just come back up again too. Like, sure, he uses BKB and all the rest of it, but yeah. They know they can't just crazily go high ground. That's exactly what Alliance... Well, I don't want to say Alliance did that. Alliance were trying to have a control push, but they're doing a control push without heroes which can bring down the racks almost instantly. Like, that's what you've got to really search for. TC. He's trying to force a backdoor regeneration, but he gets scaled up. Unfortunately for him, the Sting is still going to have its effect. But with that DD rune up on him, that's a large amount of damage. There's also a big wall of wards that's just holding him back for now. And loaded with BTs, he can split push this. That top racks again. Where's the TPs?
Dire's top
now the two
barracks
slots are
under
there.
attack.
So Koifa comes up to try and defend it. And he needed to. Roshan now has potential to spawn up. It's going to be possibly the longest time before he's going to spawn. Like, we're looking at, what's that, 57 minutes. It's almost the maximum 3 minutes time before he's going to spawn. So 12 minutes in the gap between the Roshans. Now we're starting to see the BTs. Good to see it. Clinks now has BTs. Very, very happy for this one. But the Abyssal Blade also up for Admiral Bulldog. So they got control of Liquid through their BKBs now. And it still means they have to get in close enough to do something about it. But this golden experience graph, wow, Liquid. Racking those levels. But we're getting to a point right now where all of that doesn't even mean anything. The only thing that means something is this status. The buyback status. The ability to come back up again and fight. Like, straight up disables is something to look at too. Like, you've got a Heaven's Halberd up on the Visage. The Venomancer rolling with a Veil of Discord buff up is nothing to shrug at. And Juggernaut with Aghanim Scepter, BT's full Abyssal Blade, and then still having 2800 gold up his sleeve too. So Lotus got buyback and fight twice over at any point. Like, this is still very, very difficult. And Alliance know that the next fight they want to try and take is at Roshan. It's just that simple. But they're going to push out the other lane. So by pushing out the bottom lane, they manage to split up Team Liquid. Team Liquid know they have to do something about that top lane. Even though it's just range mega creeps that are coming up, it's still not that bad. Because this lane doesn't get the full arse momentum that it would normally get. But Loda's gone back. He's just pushing at the mid now. Every lane just needs to be slowly controlled in the split push. This is a game of patience now. It's just a game of patience. No one caught out. That's the plan. From both these teams. But at the same time, you've got to take a certain level of risk when you're trying to push out the lanes. Because you never really know where the Clink's going to be. You don't know where Koipa's going to jump in from. Now he does have the Aghanim Scepter. They're seeing Loda here in the middle lane. He's already triggered his Mana Style, and he sent those illusions up towards the top lane. While down the bottom, Admiral Bulldog staying close. And you got to track. Way 2 has got to get a shield on him. Flaverself's going to move over and get rid of that track like right now. They cannot have Team Liquid being visible. Way 2... No, he's not playing bait, is he? It's a dangerous game to play. Now, Yule set for the Abaddon too. So we get another disable. There we go, finally. Track is taken off. But Loda's up on the top lane. And that's a good army. 4 range creeps buffed up, as well as 2 mega siege creeps. TC will be the man that'll be able to defend that. It's also the man that can... I don't know if he can solo up the Juggernaut, but he can definitely do a bit... Like, he could definitely do a good job. It's just if that Satanic will ever get used. TP's now coming in, and he used the BTs to go directly. Rocket comes in too. Clockwork. Got to get this timing right. Familiars also should be covering this arc right here. to stop Koifa from getting himself in. Roshan almost dead. The Rockets still getting with the vision, and now BKB's Bulba jumps in. Clockwork as well. Roshan, he's still in the middle of this fight, but no one's picked him up just yet. Killed by the Dire. Bounty will snatch the Aegis to the Immortal right now. And ulti going up from way too sexy. He's really slowing down the movements from Alliance. TC just pounding into Admiral Bulldog in the back corner. There's still cheese on the deck right now. No one has taken this. Loda's alive, picking up Bulba, and that's a long time, almost 2 minutes on the sidelines. Both the OD and the Clinks. Clinks brought himself back. Fluff up on the run back out again. Ulti will now go off. But RK staying with him. They gale him up. The Familiars are going to drop down. And now Liquid finally. One fight is all it really takes. And Loda even got a bash on the first hit. The buybacks come from OD and Crystal Maiden. The top melee ranks are still alive, but Loda just wants the tier 3 tower in the mid. Bulba, Hex already. They've got to force Loda away, and they do so. Familiar's coming in. No drops available. Veil of Discord going to be triggered off. Gale flies astray. Loda comes in, but imprisoned up. He doesn't have his ulti back up again. Admiral Bulldog has the Aegis trigger for now. Looks like the cheese was used during that last fight as well. Shuri toss. Oh, wow. You pop that Ghost Scepter. And he took double damage from both the Shuri toss as well as the power shot. So another hero on the sideline. And finally, Amelia Rax is claimed by Alliance. And this could actually be GG. Too many of them caught off. Admiral Bulldog with the Abyssal Blade slowing down Bulba. Now the BKB as well popping off from both Bulba as well as Admiral Bulldog. They get the track after that. Veil of Discord is still over on TC. And they're going in. They take the tier 3 tower on the bottom. Everyone's walking back up. EGM, in fact, bringing in his Familiars as well. But this is almost a full Mega Creeps against him. Shiva's guard to go Koifa. This is his last fight. He needs to hookshot in right now. But he got Abyssal Bladed up. Or not even Abyssal Blade. That was just stunned up from the bashes. And now over to Bulba as well. Bulba 4-staffed away. Healed up. Loda. He's not giving up this fight right now. He doesn't have mana for an ultimate. He's short by a very, very long way. RK is getting destroyed. Clockwork will hookshot him down. Now the bash from Loda. He continues to try and fight this one. Pop the Satanic, looking for his life point space. He's got 3k as well. Orchided, and now he's in trouble. He's going to die right now, and Loda knows it. But I got a funny feeling this is a sacrifice for a very good reason. Top lane was still being brought down. It was the melee racks there. Liquid are up against Mega Creeps. This is going to be an all-out push right now from them. They've got to go 5-man through one of these lanes. But the problem is, every one of the lanes from Alliance is already pushing in. Even if they try and go 5-man, these tier 4 towers will be dead by the time they even break one of the Raxes. Well, not even the Rax break a tier 3 tower, because they're all still up, and Alliance has fortification. S4's about to kill Fluff. Shackle, flies, latches. He'll get his ulti off right now. He's also got Your Scepter as another option. But EGM just waiting it out. Mech Charge to go. TC's on his way in. Your Scepter's been used on Windrunner. And now, well, Windrunner 4 staffs away. Blink from TC will allow him to chase, but disjointed 3 of those Searing Arrows. And now BKB, and they pick off EGM. Clockwork, nice latch. Wow, this is deja vu for about 30 minutes ago where S4 got caught in exactly the same position. As I was saying, when Team Liquid come outside of their base, this happens. The tier 4 towers start getting attacked.
Tower is under attack.
And the creep wave that spawns up won't be close. Actually, I think it will be close enough to go for the range creeps. Nope, they're too far away. So Way2's got to deal with this himself. And the tier 4 tower almost died just then. From almost full life to nothing.
Boom, there it goes.
And the window of opportunity is here. But it's still very, very small. The fact there is no Windrunner, buyback is on cooldown for him, means this is Liquid's only choice. It's going to be a full push down through the mid. Clinks will BT himself in a little bit later. The OD will also do the same thing. So yeah, they're doing split push with the BT heroes, and then everybody else goes straight down the middle. The Wall of Wards is already prepared. RK knows exactly what they're up against, and there's the double BTs. It's now Liquid's turn to fight. Juggernaut, at least this time around, will have an ultimate. Look at his money! He can't even spend all the money he's got. So time to fight. Fortification slowing them down. They really don't want to jump in on this one, but I don't think there's any other choice. They look for these illusions to come in and tank up a little bit more. Tier 3 tower goes down. Alliance still not coming in close. It's almost like they're happy to lose this melee Rax, because they still know they've got Mega Creeps. So even if they lose this mid Rax, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Gale will fly. Animation looked good, but it didn't trigger over to Way Too Sexy. More tracks coming up. Now the spin. trying to force a little bit of damage over towards Loda. Hook shot in, trying to hold him there. Now Loda, he's got an ulti. He's got an ulti, Loda! He'll buy back. He'll buy back. The pipe is allowing Bulba to tank up through the Soul Assumption damage. And now we fight again. The OD Imprisoment's coming out, but it's only on Illusions for now. And again, the army of Illusions coming forward. Windrunner now respawned up. The Gale over to way 2 seconds, so he's slowed up too. Familiar's in the middle of this fight. Clockwork latches himself in, trying to pick off EGM. BKB will pop Bulldog as well as Koitfa. And Koitfa, well, Admiral Bulldog is getting stunned up. He's taking a lot of damage right now. He's up to high ground and away to safety. Loda, no ultimate available. The Sarge's on the sideline. Liquid, they're taking out this tier 2 Rax, but at the same time, look at the base. S4, he's gone for the back and he's got it. These creeps, they do enough damage by themselves. Alliance will take the GG. Liquid were taking way too long to push in, and the mega creeps from the other lanes went in, and all it was going to take was just a little bit of help, a BT in. Liquid were too busy taking the fight, and the win goes to Alliance. They go 2-0 right now here in this best of 5 semi-final. It is a single elimination bracket for the final here of the Dota 2 Champions League. So stay tuned, we'll be back here for game number 3 in just a moment.